7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Okay, so today we're shooting another video in the wintertime bait series, and this time we're going to be talking about jigs. And this is one of my favorite baits to throw in the wintertime because it'll get a really big bite when other baits aren't working. So if you're going to get one bite in a day, it might as well be a pig. And so I mainly like football head jigs. These you can just drag them really slow along the bottom. And I like browns and green pumpkins, and then sometimes black and blues for when the fishing gets real tough in muddy water. And there's sand tone finesse jigs, or ball head jigs work really good. And then fan of 6 cents, because they make a lot of quality products, and they make a jig called a hybrid jig. And this jig works amazing for any type of, I guess, what do you call it, jigging. Not jigging, but throwing a jig around, I like that the best. And then this is kind of an all-around jig too. This is a Phoenix Baits Arky head jig. So you can see it's got kind of a weird head on it. And then, so now I'm going to go over some of my favorite trailers. And I'll rig one up for y'all. But this is one of my favorite trailers. It's a Zoom Fat Albert curl tail grub. Double curl tail grub. And so you'll just figure out where you need to rig it, and then once you rig it on there, they should be like that, and then in the water those will flutter and stuff, and it's real lifelike winter. They don't like a lot of action in the winter. It's don't like a whole lot of action unless it's reaction strike. So if you can get a bait that doesn't have a whole lot of action, they really like that. And then I'll show you, this is another one of my favorites. This is a Zoom. This is a good representation of the old pork trunks that a bunch of old guys used to use. This is what Zoom makes it. And I'll rig this up. A lot of people you can rig them one of two ways. You can rig them right through the center and just have it on your jig like that and have it hanging out the back. I know that I personally don't like that. Or you can rig it like any other bait and hook it through the meat and then come out and slide it up and put it on your bait keeper, and it pops out like that, and that just sits there in the water and floats up like that and doesn't move at all, and that works really good. This is the rod I like to use for mainly all of my jigs and Texas rigs and stuff. This is a Dobbins Champion HP. This is a 7.4 744 power, which means it's a 7.4 4-power rod, and so that's a heavy rod in Dobbins Champion line. And with this, I got a Daiwa CT Type R Tatula paired up with 16-pound fluorocarbon sunline, that is. And I like an 8-speed reel for my jigs because I can work it really slow and drag it, but then once a fish gets on really far out, I can take up a lot of line and set that hook and not miss as many fish. And then for lighter gauge jigs, I use a Dobbins Fury 733, which is a 7.3 medium heavy. And this works really good for lighter gauge jigs, like I said. And then on this, I got a Shimano Casitas 7.3-1 with 15-pound Seagar red label line, which is not the best. It has a lot of memory, but it's good for the price point. And I'll give you all close-ups on those jigs. There's the 6 cents hybrid jig.